Hey guys, what's going on? Julian Green here, coming at you again with another video for you. And it's a big week because Avengers Endgame comes out this Friday, this weekend. If you ain't got your tickets, let's hope you get your tickets to see it because this is going to be one of the hugest movies of all time. And luckily, I got to see the movie a little bit early. I went to a special pre-screening that came with a Q&A with the Russo brothers themselves. So after this video, I can pretty much give you one of the questions that I asked them and then that answer. And just a little precursor, this is going to be a non-spoiler review because the movie's already hard enough as it is to talk about without spoiling anything. So I'm going to try my best to talk about the movie as well as talk about what I liked, what I didn't like without giving away anything. But just in case you don't want to see anything about the movie, in case you don't want to see this review, go ahead and click off of this video right now. But don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Yep. Well, go ahead and click off of this video, and then once you see the movie, come back here and then see my review. Alright, so with all that being said, let's jump in. So Avengers Endgame is the second part of Infinity War. It is the 22nd part in the 22-film saga of the MCU as a whole. It has all been building to this. It has been culminating all up into this. And I gotta say, I freaking loved this movie, top to bottom. It is amazing. The movie does such a great job of wrapping a whole bunch of dangling plot threads and a bunch of arcs from all different Marvel movies, specifically dealing with the main 6 Avengers because this is their story. They were the ones who survived Thanos' snap at the end of Infinity War, and so therefore they are the focus of this new movie, which is pretty much great full circle wise because they are the original Avengers from the original movie. So it's really great that we get a bunch of payoffs with characters in this movie. But what I want to say is this movie has a lot of fan service, and if you guys have been following the MCU from Iron Man in 2008 all the way until today, then you will be rewarded with tons and tons of fan service, but not fan service in a way that will alienate newer fans or is just kind of done to kind of pad the runtime or anything, which the runtime is lengthy, a whopping 3 hours. But what they're doing is they're pretty much rewarding all the fans who have stuck around for each individual movie and then paying that off with all this fun nods to previous films. So you can enjoy this film even if you're a casual fan who's seen a couple movies, or even if you've seen half the movies, you could still find enjoyment in this movie because it's pretty much a great grand epic blockbuster that's a lot of fun. It's surprisingly very funny and it's super heartfelt and tear-jerking in a whole bunch of the right places. So don't worry if you're not a super fan of something like that, though I will say if you are a super fan, and again if you have been following these movies all the way from the last 11 years, then you're going to get more bang for your buck on this. This movie is specifically made for those fans who stuck around, but still manages to entertain everybody as a whole. One of the reasons they were able to do this is they were able to balance so many characters in this movie. The Russo brothers have already shown that they can knock ensemble films out of the park. They've shown it with Civil War, they've shown it with Infinity War, and now they're doing it again with Endgame. And I was really surprised that this is definitely a different movie than Infinity War. I went into this thinking that this was going to kind of be Infinity War Part 2, like how it was intended. But the reason I guess they changed the name to Endgame is because it is its own movie with its own story and kind of its own rules pretty much. Without giving too much of the plot, it's pretty much its own plot. But I gotta say, I was in love with the characters. These have some of the best performances from the actors that have been in this franchise to date. Every character gets a moment to shine. Every character gets their own little character moments that elevate them, and it doesn't make you feel like they are out of character when they have these type of moments. You look at that and then you see the actions that they take and you say, okay, that's exactly what that character would do in this moment in time. Some characters act a little out of character, but you know what, I was willing to roll with it because I was just having so much fun with the film itself. I was getting a certain vibe from another film franchise that wrapped things up almost pretty neatly, but I'm not gonna talk about that for fear of spoilers. We'll get into a spoiler review later on after the movie comes out. But there's a lot of things working in this movie favors, from the writing to the characters to the performances, all the way down to the action. This has probably one of the best action set pieces in the final act that I've ever seen in a superhero movie, let alone an MCU movie. I will tell you this right now, I was straight up crying hysterically, and I'm not talking this is an exaggeration. If you've seen Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar, that was pretty much my face times 5. It was I really couldn't control myself, and that's because I've been following these movies ever since 2008. I mean, Iron Man came out when I was a sophomore in high school. I'm 27 now, so damn. But all of these things pretty much make a well-packaged, almost damn near perfect superhero movie. This is probably right up there with The Dark Knight for me, and I know that's a big old stretch. I know I'm probably adding on to the hype train, but I mean, I walked out of this movie just feeling so good about it. I've been smiling all day ever since I saw the movie last night, and I'm actually have tickets to go see it again tomorrow, and I'm gonna rinse, dry, repeat that whole process quickly. Just to get into one of the things that I didn't like, there's a certain thing with one character, with no spoilers, but one thing with one character that I really did not like. If you watch the movie, you'll probably know who I'm talking about, but I just didn't really like what they did with this character and why they were utilized in such a way where it was just kind of it just seemed like this kind of superfluous thing in the whole grander scheme of things, and it just didn't work for me. It might work for more people. I heard it worked. It did, but for me, it just felt a little flat. I know that doesn't mean much because I can't spoil it. I'm trying not to spoil it, but this is the best I could do. I could just tell you that I liked the movie. I absolutely loved it. If you're a big fan of the MCU, then you're gonna get a lot of bang for your buck watching this movie. Everything culminates into this, and if you've been here, then you're gonna get a satisfying conclusion. Game of Thrones, it's on you to do the same. I'm just saying. Alright guys, so we got through the Avengers Endgame review, and I guess that's the best we could do without spoiling it. Like, you're welcome, I guess. As for the Q&A with the Russo brothers, I simply just asked them in light of the Disney-Fox merger where they attempted to kind of, you know, put little Easter eggs from, say, the X-Men or the Fantastic Four or any other characters that were owned by Fox previously. And the answer to their question was they were really focused on wrapping this saga up right now instead of looking to the future. So it was tempting, but they ended up not doing that. They also said that Marvel really wanted to kind of like place that on the back burner for maybe a couple of years, mostly because the X-Men are still fresh in the minds of a lot of fans, especially with Dark Phoenix coming out. And so they kind of just want to let that breathe and then kind of reintroduce them and get a whole new slate going so it doesn't end up like a new Spider-Man situation. All right, guys, are you going to see Avengers Endgame? I feel so weird saying that because, like, of course you are, right? If you're not going to see Avengers Endgame, please let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell to get notifications for my videos. And just know, I'm a dude in his room talking to a camera. Love you, and I'm